Hello, hello, testing, testing. Yes. Okay, so welcome. I guess you could say you found me in a little bit of a conundrum at the moment, and I'm gonna explain it to you. And I guess I should start with that. But yeah, how are you? Are you doing okay? No. Okay, so I'm studying. I'm doing my master's in fine arts, and this entire YouTube channel and everything is kind of a experiment of that, where I'm trying to use Haunted by Glitches, trying to see how the method works, what's good, what's not good, everything like that. And then at the end of my studies, we're gonna have like a big kind of exhibition, not really exhibition, but kind of exhibition, where we're supposed to kind of show our projects and also have like talks and interactions with the public about it in different ways, and we can decide ourselves how we do it. And the thing is that I kind of have to decide what to do, which is kind of a difficult thing when you're working with my process, because I can't really know exactly what's going to happen all the time. So this recording, perhaps a whole video, who knows? I don't know how long I'm gonna ramble, but this is basically me talking to myself as if there was an audience, trying to figure out how should I do this? What should I do? So maybe let's first start off. What you're seeing here is the space that I'm probably gonna be in when I'm showing my stuff. So we're gonna be in a building called Slakthuset, the slaughterhouse. Ooh, very dramatic. It's because it used to be a slaughterhouse, and now they're trying to turn it into a more cultural, artsy, and restaurant-y kind of area. Yeah. And there's one specific room that is just tiles all the way around on the walls, and then there's this weird indent here for a door, and soundproof roof, and like gray flooring. And so I'm gonna probably, not certainly, but probably be in this half of that room. So with I've said, like, none of my colleagues who were also looking into this room, none were really like looking into this space, maybe some, but mostly I said that I was quite interested in this specific indent here, because I don't know, it inspired me and made me feel like, yeah, this is something that someone has to do something with. So yeah, this is the space that I'm probably gonna be in. And the thing is, like, for our learning outcomes, we have to do something like being public and discussing something about our art practice in context with like international and national art contexts and society and stuff. So the thing is, in this space, we don't have to show any artworks or anything. Like, we can just have like a talk or something, and that would technically kind of be enough. But the thing is that we have to, or we should at least try to do something that is an interaction with the public. So it could be just a one-on-one talk with a professional of some sort, or it could be a performance where you then talk to the audience about things, or something where you kind of involve the public in a conversation in some way. So my absolutely first idea would be that I would, in the space, have some sort of performance where I show one of my experiments and the process and how it came to be. And then I would have like a workshop where I would invite 2 or 3 people to work together with me with Haunted by Glitches, just seeing what happens, kind of. But then I started feeling like maybe the importance of my project isn't to like force other people to try my method, like a workshop or masterclass, we kind of call it, would do, then it would be me just saying, hey, we should try this method for a while and seeing what happens. And yeah, I feel like the important part for me, I guess, is that this method that I'm doing, it feels just kind of, it feels kind of right for me. It works, and it makes the process of making art a lot more fun, in my opinion. And I also believe that trying to do things in unconventional and different ways, like I'm not the only one doing it, but there should be a bit more kind of invitation to do things in different ways, to kind of explore what could happen. Like if you're just walking the normal path every time, the way people saying, oh, this is the right path, that's the right path, that's the path you should go, you're always going to find out the same things as other people are doing. But if you go another path, maybe you fall into a cliff and die, or maybe you find an even nicer view of some nice lake, or maybe you find some nice berries that you can eat, or yeah, like going off the normal path has its pros. Like it's worth attempting it in probably most situations. Like I've been thinking about it in a scientific field that nowadays scientific research is relying more and more on private funding, and private funding often have like yeah, I mean, they have an end goal with the research they're funding most of the times. So according to some text I read, apparently, or I mean, I understand it, I mean, scientists just wants to kind of fool around, try out different things, seeing what works, what doesn't, and then like experiment with weird like things that doesn't necessarily relate to each other, but there might be some way that it kind of gives an epiphany or something. But then when they become funded by private companies or people who want something specific from the research, then they kind of have to follow a specific path to find the most efficient way to solve this specific problem, even though maybe they could have solved 50 other problems if they just did it another way. So yeah, doing stuff not like through a completely planned way is what I'm advocating for, and I want the audience in here to understand that I'm advocating for it. But I guess it's the thing that I'm not sure if it's the right thing to kind of force them to use my method. If I should do a sort of experience when they also just get the feeling of like, oh, I did something unexpected and something fun and unexpected happened. Or if it should be like just a documentation of my experiments. I think my headset stop. Fuck off. Okay. Yeah, a documentation of my experiments or something. So I don't know, and I have some different feelings of what I want to do, but then again with my method, I mean, I don't know what the end project is going to be, so I have a hard time figuring out like what should I do actually. So one of my teachers thinks that the workshop idea is still a good idea, and I see the points of it. Like you can change it a little bit, maybe want some people to come here and work while I'll talk to the audience about what we're doing, to kind of explain the method and things like that. That could be one way. Another thing, another teacher told me, my supervisor said that perhaps it's worth like doing your experiments and then kind of stepping out of it, kind of getting a meta perspective on it, trying to meta, because I have a meta headset, but getting a meta perspective on it in a way that you kind of evaluate the choices I did, what I felt at the moment, how I feel like, did it work good or bad for me, kind of doing an evaluation of the experiments that I'm doing, and in some way showing it here, maybe sort of an installation or a talk, maybe talking with someone about the processes and experiments and choices that I've done. So that's the two things that I guess two different teachers are kind of saying could be a good choice, but I mean, I don't have to also, just because they say that it could be something good, it doesn't mean that I have to feel that it's the perfect thing. And I don't know if I do. When I was in this space, because I started after the workshop idea, I started having the idea that I would make okay, I'm gonna do one experiment where I don't follow the glitch at all, or when I'm not using haunted by glitches at all, and then I kind of note different places where I could be haunted by a glitch and do something else. So I do the entire experiment and I get the end result, and then I go back to those places and start doing haunted by glitches and seeing all of the different outcomes that could be. And then I would kind of make a sort of a map on the wall where it would be like, here I started, blah, 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 writing some stuff about the premises of the experiment and going, this is what happened if I didn't use haunted by glitches at all, and I get this end result. And if I did it from the beginning, I get this end result. And if I started with it in the middle, then I get this end result. To kind of show a bit, that how you choose to do something can give very different results, just kind of plain and simply. And then when I came here, I started doubting that idea because I got inspired and felt like this room, because we can make it dark. It's the only space here where you can where it's easy to really make it dark. So I felt like there should be projection here. And I got a feeling that I wanted to do some sort of performance, like me with a headset and the projection. I kind of tried it out where I explained an experiment, but maybe it could be something else depending on what the experiment becomes. Maybe it's going to be maybe I'm doing live music when I'm in VR and woo. I don't know. But I got inspired by the space. And at first I was but my other idea was good. So what is this idea doing better for my project in a way? And I started thinking this map. I mean, what it will do is also that it's I'm only doing one part of the experiment by being haunted by glitches. The rest of it is kind of a mix between haunted by glitches and other things. And I feel like it's good in one way, because then I get to try out how I also feel when I'm using haunted by glitches and when I'm doing something where I'm not using haunted by glitches. Or at least I get to try it out in a very controlled way. Because in the rest of my life, I'm following conventions and everything quite often. And I kind of have a sense for how it makes me feel, at least when I'm doing a artistic project or something. It kind of, to me it feels boring sometimes. Sometimes it feels good. It depends on the project, I guess. So if I do that, the map idea, then I have to do experiments when I'm not using haunted by glitches. And do I want to do that? I don't know. If I do only haunted by glitches all the way until I come here, that would probably be more fun. I would have no idea what the outcomes would be. And I guess that's the hard part. That I would kind of want to do that, but I also have to, together with my class, have some sort of control of what's going to happen here. I can kind of know, okay, I'm probably going to be in this space, But the thing is, then we're gonna start doing a schedule over like performances and talks and screenings and stuff like that. How do I know when I'm gonna do something if I don't know what I'm gonna do? Like, and what if all of a sudden the project kind of makes me be like, oh, I'm not gonna be in here, or something like that. Yeah. Do you understand why this is kind of a conundrum for me? Having a method where it's supposed to be very like unplanned and and chaotic in a way, trying to fit it into a sort of exhibition or public program where we have to plan stuff. I don't know how to do that in a good way, really. I guess one solution could be that I, like from now on, do one more artistic experiment where I do something with VR and things like that. And then I do one experiment where I try to plan a public event, like a talk or something, but I try to plan it using Haunted by Glitches and seeing what comes from it. I mean, it could be... It makes sense and I kind of like it. But the thing is also like, if I'm thinking like technically with like learning outcomes and stuff, there's not actually like a like, for example, me who's using a specific method, the talk or something or whatever I do here doesn't like have to be made using that method. Maybe an artwork that I'm doing here is used making that method, but the rest of it doesn't have to be. And but also, like, I feel like one thing that my supervisor told me is like, what is it that you want to do here? I mean, it's my final project. This is hopefully, probably not, but I'm gonna try like be the start of hopefully an artistic career for me. Like, what do I want this final exhibition thing to give me? I think that's what's kind of, I guess, important to think about. That I don't have to, I mean, I have to please my teachers by managing the learning outcomes, yes. But other than that, like, it's my project and I should do what I think is best for the project. And what I believe also, like, how do I make this project in a way that would be not profitable, like valuable for my like continued working experience or something like that. Oh, and then I have to like start thinking about, okay, what's my dreams in the future? And do I want to be a VJ doing cool performances on a stage together with like techno music and like woo? Or do I want to do like fine art where I'm doing a VR process and then it turns into a painting and then I go to Gothenburg Konsthall and say like, oh wow, I have so cool stuff, do you want to exhibit my stuff? And then I sell paintings for like 1,000,000 crowns or something. Or do I want to do more of the socially participatory things that's very popular right now, that I do workshops and talks and small group meetings about, how do we use this method and like use it as a way of protest. Like, what do I want to do? And like all of those things sounds kind of interesting to me. And maybe I don't need to do like, or maybe like, maybe I don't need to think too much about what I want to do in the future, because what I do now also doesn't define what I'm gonna do forever. I should just think kind of, what do I want to do? What would be fun, interesting, exciting, all of that. But okay, so far, like, what I'm feeling might turn out most fun and interesting for me, I guess, would be this idea that I do one experiment that I then show in some way, maybe a performance, maybe it turns out to be like a video or something, I don't know yet, but that's one experiment, and then one experience that is focusing on how do I do a like a public event thing where I talk to a person or an audience and something like that. I like that idea, I think. The downside is if I'm using Haunted by Glitches on the public thing as well, there's a risk that it becomes like incoherent, it's hard to understand, all of that. Like, maybe it turns into be like an interpretive dance, who knows? And how are people gonna like get it? Like, it's that part, like, I also have to have this aspect of talking about my art in a context, and both social, international, and national. Like, that might get lost if I'm doing the public thing with Haunted by Glitches. So I guess, like, some sort of after talk or explanation to that, I guess, would still kind of have to be necessary. And then I guess it comes with that problem that then I have to also think about what would that be, because that also needs planning. Or I could do like, yeah, I mean, do 2 experiments all the way through, see what happens, and then have one specific talk that is not made using the Haunted by Glitches. The thing is, I want to do experiments with Haunted by Glitches, and I want to have time to kind of just do and see what happens without having to plan too much. Is there a smart solution for me to kind of do that? I don't know. What could be a smart solution? I guess one smart solution would be to do some... Oh shit, battery headset low. Whoopsie. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know if I'm even gonna show my point of view in this video, but yeah, because they're kind of different. We'll keep on. Let's see. I mean, if I just want to do experiments, if I just want to do experiments, if I just, I mean, I guess like, I could either do like just one VR experiment and do it like full on all the time, blah blah blah, or I could do 2 separate ones and then have a talk about it, or I could do one kind of VR artistic experiment and then one experiment on the public talk thingy. And I guess that could be kind of fun. The only thing is that I then also have to have some sort of way of discussing. I mean, the public art thingy could also be that then I do the experiment for 10 minutes and then have a little talk about it for 5 minutes while the audience is still there. I mean, it doesn't have to be harder than that. Because it would kind of be fun to do that, because then I'm getting to do one experiment, and the plan is to do like a new one, not the ones that I've been doing already, but a new one. Which, I mean, then I'm just doing the artistic experiment, and it's going to be hopefully fun and nice and exciting. And then I also get to try my method on planning a social talk or public event thing, which, I mean, it would give me experiments on applying the method on different things and not just kind of VR and strictly artistic things. It might turn out completely artistic and weird and humbug and all of that, but maybe, I mean, it feels like that would give me something. I guess, yeah, I mean, that gives me also something that, like with the map idea, that would give me the controlled experience of also being able to see what happens if I don't do the method, and how does that feel like? Yeah, well, with doing this experiment on the public thing, what that gives is it gives a sort of I mean, it gives me the experience of doing it on different, like, starting areas. It's not necessarily an experiment, it's like this is a planning or something like that, and then doing that as an experiment. Yeah, I mean, I gain something from it that I think that's more of a new thing for me to gain than if I gained the experience of doing an experiment not with autopic glitches. Because that's something that I have done. Maybe not as controlled and thought through, but that's something I've done. Yeah. So I guess maybe for now I might at least just pause the recording in case my headset dies. But yeah, for now, I guess the idea that feels most right for me is to do one artistic experiment and one experiment on the public thingy. And then seeing that, okay, that's going to be an experiment that then ends with me explaining in some way, I think. And I guess, like, the explaining of it, and maybe I need like PowerPoints or something. I don't know. I guess that comes during the process, that I have to have like a continuous kind of, okay, how do I also show this? Even like I'm doing an experiment with the public thingy, but also continuously being like, okay, how do I also make it understood what I have done here? Yeah. I feel like this was good talk. Thank you. Sorry for the oh Jesus, like a half an hour almost. But yeah, I feel like I needed this. I needed this deep sock into my artistic practice with myself in a digital space. Yeah, but it feels, yeah, I feel like that's a good point. I might do more talking in a while to just see if I still think the same thing. But for now, I feel like this feels good. And that's something I should trust. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. Now I'm gonna just pause the video and everything. Yeah.